Hello, and welcome to Dark Hearts with Stacy Lee. I appreciate you joining me today. Just a few weeks ago, a rich and famous Twitch star, Kaitlyn Siragusa, who uses the handle Amouranth, was attacked in her home by a group of home invaders, there to steal her millions of dollars in cryptocurrency. Today, I'm going to walk you through the terrifying footage of this event, and we're going to talk about the crime. This is becoming more and more common, and I think it's important to discuss this crime because there are so many things we can learn from it. And it's also a good lesson in how a home security system can help, but what a home security system will not do for you. It's also a lesson in gun ownership and self-defense. Home invasion has become the modern-day train robbery. It's terrifying and it's deadly, and it's happening more and more often. This is the story of Kaitlyn Siragusa and Nick Lee, the Twitch star home invasion. Don't forget to hit the like button on the video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more from me. It helps a lot. I'm your host, Stacy Lee. Let's begin. It's the heyday of new apps online. Some apps would blow up and become worth billions. Other apps would fade into obscurity. Periscope, Vine, Hive, Vox, and hundreds of other apps disappeared, while apps like Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitch blew up. This is Kaitlyn Siragusa. She was born in 1993 in Houston, Texas. She started out online as a cosplayer on Instagram and YouTube. Now, I don't know who any of these characters are. I know very little about the world of cosplay, but they're beautiful. And Kaitlyn was very popular at character parties, and she did some charity work visiting hospitals in some of her favorite costumes. In 2016, Kaitlyn joined Twitch and very quickly gained fame on that platform. I only know about Twitch from my adult kids. Twitch is a live streaming platform and social network where users either watch or broadcast live streams. They can be pre-recorded videos, but they play video games and engage with those who watch their videos. The biggest part of the platform Twitch is for serious gamers, but there are also streams about music, creative content, sports, broadcasting, real-life experiences, and streamers can earn money through subscriptions, donations, and partnerships. Kaitlyn Siragusa began using the handle Amouranth, and soon her content changed. She went from cosplay to more adult content when she began doing live streams from her hot tub. In 2021 and 2022, Amouranth was the most watched female streamer on the platform Twitch. She also started doing ASMR content, which for those of you who don't know is an acronym that stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response. People make videos where they do something that makes a sound that's supposed to give you a pleasant tingling sensation. They do stuff like this and stuff like this. Some people like tapping and scratching videos. Streamers will put like a mannequin head near a microphone and scratch the head on the microphone, which is supposed to simulate getting your own head scratched. Other people like eating ASMR videos where you hear the sounds of someone chewing and swallowing. Some people like ASMR videos that involve cutting through kinetic sand or like carving soap. If there's something that makes a noise, there is an ASMR category for it. I've even seen videos of wood soup where a streamer puts a bunch of small blocks of wood in a bowl with liquid and stirs the wood soup to make sounds. The internet, it's a wild place. So Kaitlyn, as Amouranth, is making gaming content, ASMR content, and adult content. In October of 2021, Kaitlyn Amouranth was banned from Twitch, Instagram, and TikTok because her content had become far too adult-oriented for those platforms, and that was her fifth banning. Each time she was banned, she would get back on the platforms because, let's be honest, the platforms want the money creators like Amouranth generate. And then, of course, she had an OnlyFans account where she was making only adult content. Amouranth was making money. A lot of money, and she invested wisely. She bought a gas station. She invested in various businesses. She bought into an inflatable pool toy company and a company that matches personal assistance to content creators. In April of 2022, Amouranth announced that she was quitting OnlyFans to focus on Twitch, but then she quickly joined Jerkmate and began streaming there. Who comes up with these names? Jerkmate is exactly what it sounds like. It's a pornography site. You know, I miss my grandparents so much, but there are days where I'm like, you know, I'm glad I don't have to explain to my grandparents what Jerkmate is. Because my grandma Dean especially, she would be the type of person that would want to know. In 2023, Amouranth joined Kick, which is another live streaming platform. In June of 2024, she invested in a company called Wildcard Gaming, which is a digital platform for video games. Now, when I say she was making money, I'm talking millions and millions of dollars. She had all the money she'd ever dreamed of, but her life was not without its troubles. In March of 2023, Kaitlyn Siragusa was diagnosed with ovarian failure, which is a premature loss of hormonal function in the ovaries. This causes a lot of problems with the female reproductive system and can trigger autoimmune diseases. And I'll try to contain my rant here. People hear autoimmune diseases and they're like, what, you're tired sometimes and have aches and pains? So do I. As someone with a severe autoimmune disease, I will tell you, there are days when it is all I can do to drag myself out here to the studio after, putting on the clown makeup and doing the hair. Everyone feels exhaustion. It's different when you have autoimmune disease. I've been an exhausted person without autoimmune disease, and I've been an exhausted person with autoimmune disease, and I can tell you they are not the same thing. But anyway, Amouranth has had to deal with health problems, which is always stressful. She was also dealing with something else stressful. In October of 2022, Amouranth announced that she was married, and this was something that her fans did not know. She stated on a live stream that she had been married for several years, and she was forced to share this information because in a live stream, people overheard a man yelling very abusive and derogatory things at Amouranth. So with the cat out of the bag, the fact that she was married, Amouranth had to address this. She told her fans that she and her husband, Nick Lee, kept their marriage a secret for commercial reasons. It might sound weird, but it makes perfect sense to me. When I was signed to an agency and was touring around the country, mostly the Western United States, singing professionally, the agency would not let me wear my wedding ring, and I was not supposed to talk about my marriage. There are people who come to clubs and bars that want to think of you as a single person. In this same live where Amouranth talked about the fact that she was secretly married, she also revealed that her husband Nick had control over her finances, that he coerced her to stream more than she wanted to, and that he had threatened to kill her dogs if she did not obey his demands. So this was a lot. At one time, days after these revelations, Amouranth went live and told her followers that she was seeking legal and emotional counsel, that she had regained access to her own money, and that her husband was out of her life and he was seeking help for his anger. Well, this separation did not last, and the two never divorced. They are still married, and as you will see in the video we are going to watch together, it's a good thing Nick was still in the house, even if the couple is having problems. It does appear that they live in separate areas of this massive house we're going to see today. It turned out to be a good thing that they were at the same residence when something terrible happened, and it was all captured on the home's security system. It's a chilly night in Houston, Texas. Kaitlyn Siragusa, Amouranth, and her husband, Nick Lee, were at home in their mansion. Kaitlyn was in her bedroom with the door locked. Nick was in a separate wing of the house working on the computer. The couple has a very sophisticated camera system and alarm system in their house. And part of the reason that I want to talk about this story is because it shows that no matter how sophisticated your system is, it does nothing unless it's monitored, unless motion alarms are in place to alert you when someone has come onto your property. Yes, cameras are great, but they have to be connected to motion detectors and alarms, or they do nothing but record a terrible event. And that's exactly what happened on this night. On that night, 4 home invaders, robbers, dressed all in black with their faces covered, arrived at Amouranth's giant property. Why? They'd heard Amouranth say on a live stream that she had $20 million in cryptocurrency. And these guys decided they were going to steal it. Now, there's no nice way to say this. You've got to be very uninformed to think you can steal cryptocurrency by breaking into someone's house. It's crypto. It's digital currency. It's not cash. These transactions all take place online. Now, there's something else you need to know. All 4 of these home invaders were teenagers, 16, 17, 18, and 19 years old. We're going to talk more about that in a minute, but I would think young kids would know more about cryptocurrency. Maybe they were thinking they could force Kaitlyn to transfer her money to them because there's no way to steal cryptocurrency unless you have all the information. Needless to say, this was not a well thought out plan by the Brain Trust. But the thing I really want to talk about today is how the security system, as advanced as it is, did not prevent this terrible crime because it did not alert Kaitlyn or Nick Lee to the fact that their property was being invaded. The invaders approached the fence surrounding Kaitlyn's property. They try getting over the fence, which apparently has a barbed wire at the top. They're unsuccessful, but then they find a way not only onto the property, but in the house. No alarms went off, no monitors alerted Kaitlyn or Nick to the presence of these burglars. The kids are able to make it onto the property where they run across the drive and begin going through not only the garage, but the house. So these 3 guys, with the 4th sitting in the car acting as a getaway driver, are actually in Kaitlyn's house and she has no idea. She's laying in bed sleeping and Nick is working. Despite the security system, there has been no detection and no alert sent to Kaitlyn or Nick that they're in the midst of a home invasion. As Kaitlyn lays in bed, she hears a loud bang. She texts Nick, who is in a separate wing of the house, but before she knows it, the robbers are at her bedroom door. In this next clip, you'll hear a scuffle, and you'll hear Kaitlyn screaming as she is being pistol whipped by these literal children. She is beaten over the head and pistol whipped several times. It's horrifying.
Bust the locks. Here. Here. Nigga, we're already in. Look, there's a camera right there. We're already in. Just do it. Go.
This ain't this. This ain't.
Go. Just get it.
We got a problem.
Pick the door. Where's the Please hurry.
Okay.
I'm sorry, we have to do this, so please hurry.
It's in the pool.
It's not in the pool. Stop playing.
No, it's across the way.
Stop playing.
It's across the way.
Go.
Okay, let's go.
Keep going, hurry.
Okay.
Please hurry.
Okay.
I'm sorry, we have to do this, so please hurry.
It's in the pool.
It's not in the pool. Stop playing.
No, it's across the way.
Stop playing.
It's across the way.
Go.
Okay, let's go.
Hey, yeah, the camera shit, I'm taking the phone.
Here, take it. Hurry up. Come on. Hurry up. Come on.
Oh, in here. It's in here.
I'm so sorry.
Come on. Go, 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 go.
Hurry up.
Okay. Open the shit. Open the shit. Open the shit. Okay. Open the shit. Open the shit. Open the shit.
Kaitlyn then does what I think was the smartest thing she could do. She tells the home invaders that she will take them to where she stores her devices that have the cryptocurrency information on them, and she leads the boys to the wing of the house where she knows Nick is waiting. She knows Nick is armed, and she knows he has been alerted that something is going on because she was able to send a text before the gang broke into her bedroom. What the boys do not know is that Nick has put on a bulletproof vest. That's all he's wearing, that and a pair of underwear, and he is waiting at the top of the steps with his gun. What you are going to see and hear next is Kaitlyn leading the robbers into the portion of the house where Nick is at. You can barely hear it, but Nick yells, "Get down," at Kaitlyn, and then he begins firing. The kids run from the house, and you can hear one of them saying over and over, "I got shot. I'm hit."
Hurry up. Come on.
Oh, in here. It's in here.
I'm so sorry.
Come on. Go, 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 go.
Hurry up.
Okay. Open the shit. Open the shit. Open the shit. Okay. Open the shit. Open the shit. Open the shit.
Kaitlyn and Nick are safe, and the robbers have left empty-handed, with one of them shot by Nick. As you can imagine, this was a very traumatic event that left both Kaitlyn and Nick shaken. They called the police, who arrived and began an investigation. Now, like I said, this was just weeks ago. All of the details on this have not yet come out, so I don't know if the kid who was shot sought medical attention or not. If he didn't, I'm not sure what he did because, he was shot with a bullet. I'm sure he needed to visit a doctor. The investigation went on for about 2 weeks, and then came the news that arrests had been made.
In the violent home invasion of a popular Houston-based influencer and streamer. Caroline Collins is here with more on that. Caroline.
All right, Anthony, I sat down with Amouranth and her husband just a few days ago, and she talked about the home invasion that happened earlier this month. 3 teens, ages 19, 18, 17, and 16 have been arrested. Amouranth, whose real name is Kaitlyn Siragusa, was sleeping in her Northwest Houston home when 3 of them broke in, pistol whipped her, and demanded cryptocurrency.
Someone is trying to come in here, and then they shot down my door. These 3 guys came into my room, turned all the lights on, and then they had the gun pointed at me and told me, stand up, stand up. And so they cornered me into a chair in my room and were interrogating me, asking me where the crypto is.
Well, Siragusa led the suspect to a separate building on her property where her husband, Nick Lee, was waiting. Nick fired at those suspects, hitting one of them, and they took off running. Brian Salazar Guerrero, DeMarcus Morris, and Dylan Campbell all face charges of aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon and kidnapping. Now, before the invasion, Siragusa posted on social media that she had about $20 million in cryptocurrency holdings. We have that full interview for you with her over on Fox Local. You want to check it out. It's definitely interesting.
Yeah, like I said, the boys were 19, 18, 17, and 16 years old. I get that kids do stupid things. My father saw it over and over in his courtroom as a juvenile judge. But the stupid things that most kids are doing, it's graffiti. Maybe stealing, racing cars. I cannot wrap my head around a group of boys getting together and saying, you know what we're going to do? We're going to commit an armed robbery, a home invasion at a famous person's house to steal $20 million in cryptocurrency. It is next level stupid and next level dangerous. It's shocking to think these kids believed they were going to get away with this. The boys were arrested, and it's weird because the news has their mugshots, but I looked high and low for singular mugshots of these boys, and I couldn't find them. So I've had to take everything from video I found on this story. 2 of the kids aren't juveniles, so it's especially weird that their mugshots aren't online, at least not yet at the time I'm filming this. So the boys are Brian Anthony Salazar Guerrero, who is 19, Dylan Nisho Campbell, who is 18, DeMarcus Morris Jr., who is 17, and the 16-year-old's name has been withheld because of his age. All 4 boys have been charged with aggravated kidnapping and aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon. Dylan Nisho Campbell and DeMarcus Morris are still in custody. Brian Anthony Salazar Guerrero has posted bond. His bond was $100,000, so someone came up with $10,000 in order to bond this kid out. I can't be sure which kid is which kid, but I'm sure more information will come out on this in the coming months. I'm glad Kaitlyn and Nick are okay, and I don't even know what to say about these kids. I'm sure their parents and families are beside themselves. These kids might go away for the rest of their lives. This is a very serious crime. Now, I always like to try and learn something from these stories, so let's talk about that. In addition to cameras, you must have alarms that alert you to movement on your property. The system I use sends my phone an alert if anyone crosses the sidewalk, walks into my driveway, or up to my front door. I have motion detectors with lights that send my phone an alert with sound that wakes me up if I'm asleep. If anyone walks up by my house, the side yards, the backyard, and of course the front as well. The cameras don't do any good if you're not getting an alert, and that alert needs to have a loud sound. My system lets me choose from different audio alarms that are pretty obnoxious and will definitely wake me up if someone comes on my property. Now, what do you do if someone comes on your property in the middle of the night? If someone wants to get into your house, they're going to get into your house. Unless you live in a prison with bars over every window, someone can get into your house. And this is why you need to be armed. Calling 911 is obviously important as well, but the cops are not going to get to you before that person or group of people breaks in. You're on your own. If you choose not to arm yourself, I understand and I respect that choice. For me, I am armed and I am well trained with my sidearm. I shoot often, I practice, I take good care of my weapon, and I know how to use it. I will not hesitate to use my firearm if I ever have to, and part of practicing with your weapon is knowing the responsibility that comes with owning it. The only time you should ever raise or point a gun is when you are prepared to shoot it. If you're not mentally prepared to shoot a gun, you shouldn't own one. But even with all the cameras and alarms in the world, if somebody wants in your house, they're getting in. And when they get in, you're on your own. That's why I'm prepared. I think Kaitlyn and Nick did a lot of things right on this terrible night, but I also think this story, like I said, is a great example of how a very advanced security system is not enough. You have to have it linked to alarms that will wake you out of a dead sleep. And you know, I'm also a big proponent of having dogs. Now, Kaitlyn and Nick had dogs, and those dogs were barking, but they weren't in the bedroom with Kaitlyn. My dogs are in the bedroom, and there are more nights than I want to admit when they go nuts over nothing and wake me up. But one of those nights, it might not be nothing, and I'd rather them wake me up 1,000 times over nothing than not wake me up when they need to. This is the world we live in, my friends. It's not fun to talk about. It's not pleasant, and no one should live in fear. There is a big difference between living in fear and living prepared. No one wants to be the victim of a crime, but it's important to be realistic and to be prepared. You never know when you might have a night like Kaitlyn and Nick did. So take steps to protect yourself and those you love. You're going to do that better than anyone else ever can. Thank you for joining me today on Dark Hearts with Stacy Lee. I always like spending a little time with you. I want to give a special thank you to my patrons. Your support keeps the channel going. And if you want to join my Patreon, you will get some bonus content that you cannot see or hear anywhere else. This is my podcast. It's on Apple and Spotify. I post brand new episodes every Monday and Wednesday. And we've got 2 fundraisers going right now. This is our perpetual fundraiser. We raise money to donate to police departments that have cold case DNA in storage that's never been tested. If you watch this short video on my channel, it will give you all the details as to how you can donate a few bucks. The second fundraiser is a raffle for this painting. This is one of my paintings that I'm donating. There is a short on my channel that explains how you can get $5 to me. We're going to do a digital raffle. I'm going to put everybody that donates names into a digital raffle, and somebody will end up owning the painting. If you don't win the painting, you've donated $5 to a really good cause. All the money for the painting goes to NCMEC, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And anytime you donate any money on this channel for anything, 100% of your donations go to the cause. I hope you're well, and I look forward to talking with you in the comments about this one. It's a wild story. Stay safe and be kind to each other. And I will see you next time on Dark Hearts with Stacy Lee. Bye.